Hi guys, we need to talk about Tesla and Elon Musk. All the usual culprits, and we're talking about CNBC, MarketWatch, and obviously all the other Yahoo Finance. They are lying to you, and in this video we're gonna talk about the truth about Elon Musk selling his stock, and also what I see Tesla going forward in terms of price, stock price. So let's dive straight into it. And first of all, so they've been lying to you. Elon Musk, obviously his tweet has basically is one of the reasons why Tesla has been going down in price. That has basically has decided, basically it was like the beginning of the drop. But the point being, the impact of his actual sale, and I showed you that in my previous video, the impact was minimal. Like looking at the total market cap of Tesla, just selling the amount of shares that Elon Musk promised to sell was just a drop of 2%. So basically all this talking, all this FUD, that is the reason for the drop in price that we saw. And we're talking about a big drop over like 7 to 10%. So that was a massive drop, but it was 100% due to the FUD. Like there was nothing else but just all these headlines showing off how Elon Musk is now a liar because he's selling Tesla when he said he wouldn't, and also why he's selling a ginormous amount. No one talks about the actual impact of him selling. There is literally no one talking about that, but thank God on this channel I always give you the truth and I tell you everything about it. 1 second, I need to get into the lane. Okay, I'm in the lane and here we are. So now where I see Tesla going forward in terms of price, well, it's very easy actually. If you look at the history of Tesla, the stock price, you see that you notice that the stock always goes in consolidation mode after a bull run. Now, so that is what is gonna happen again. Now, today it was a bit of a weak day. It was, first of all, a minor loss, then a minor gain, now a minor loss. That is kind of just like basically just consolidating. Now, when I mean consolidation, I just don't mean like very weak days like today. I mean days where it would just go up like 3, 4, even 5%, and then back down to what it was. The point being, it will create the usual flag if you think about the pattern. So we reached the peak before Elon Musk's tweet, and then we've now gone down, and it will now go back up, and it will create a bull flag. In terms of how long it's gonna take, that is obviously a mystery, and there are other factors that will decide whether Tesla will come down in price, and so the flag will break down and come down in price, or the alternative is that it will carry on like on its bull run. So what might happen is actually not down to Tesla itself, it's down to the entire market. So the S&P 500 today was down, and that is actually very interesting considering that if you look at what happened yesterday for the bond market, and I'm talking about the bond market because that is what is gonna decide what the stock market will do in 2021, at the end of 2021, but most importantly in 2022. And the Fed has already decided to introduce the tapering of their purchases of bonds. So the Fed, by the way, is the biggest buyer of bonds in the market. And I've been telling you about the liquidity problem that the bond market has got. And what is very interesting is that I read an article from the New York Times, and there are already problems for the liquidity in the bond market. Also, what is very interesting is that short sellers of the bond market are now winding up their positions, because it was a very easy bet to do last year, was to bet that the price of the bond prices would go down. So that was very easy back then, but now the price will probably go up because the liquidity is like incredibly low. So they are now winding up their positions, leaving the market again. So what is gonna happen when the actual tapering kicks in? Because this month is gonna be the first month, but then next month we're gonna see even more tapering and so on. The price of bonds will come down, and this is the deal. This is the important bit, is that when the price will come down, the price of bonds, the yield of bonds will finally go up. And that is very important because the money will move from the stock market, from equities like Tesla and many others, into the bond market. And that is because the bond yield, so just buying fixed income, so we're talking about bonds, will become incredibly interesting when the bond yields will finally be around 4, 5, 6%. So imagine just buying something that gives you 6% return no matter what. So it's clearly gonna be a very good deal for many institutions, many investors. And so that is the kind of stuff that will happen very soon. And so the very first wave of increases in yield will be during the tapering because of this lack of liquidity. And then the second whammy, we're talking about a double whammy here, and it will be again due to the Fed. With the tapering being when it's finally completely wound up, then there will be the increase in interest. And if you look at 2018, what that did was a very negative effect on the stock market. So because it increased the yield in bonds and making it even more interesting. So bond yields could go really high, meaning that lots of investors could get very interested into the bond market, move their capital. And when I mean investors, I'm talking about hedge funds, big companies like big banks as well. I'm not talking about the usual normal people like you and me. And by the way, I'm gonna even make videos about bonds because I see this being the future now, where we could potentially make a lot of money in the bond market. I'm not joking, guys. It's normally not very sexy, but for maybe a year or maybe even two, the bond market may become a very good place to make money. So we're gonna make videos about that as well. So Tesla will be obviously heavily affected because of the massive increase that it has had over the last 2 years now, and it will come down a lot in price. It might come down a lot in price. Now, am I worried about the company? Am I worried about the fundamentals of the company? Absolutely no. I absolutely love Tesla. So I still got a position in the stock, in the Tesla stock, because obviously this is a lot of talking. A lot of things can happen between here and when actually we're gonna see the effects of this tapering, of increasing bond yields. And so Tesla might become like a safe haven. And it could be that maybe just Tesla and a bunch of other stocks will keep going up, or just maybe trading sideways for a while, whereas the rest of the stock market might just go down. There are many scenarios that may pan out, but what is certain is that 2022 is gonna be an insane year for stocks. I can tell you this much right now. So you have to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video because we are gonna be at the forefront of this battle.